Why do you dislike Meghan Markle so much? Is the cause due to bad behavior like this? Here, I just want to restate a few of my opinions as well as your opinions and royal commentators that I have come across in the comments section. The rest is up to you in the comments section, and judging by the comments that you have left in the past, I know this is a job that you can do with no problem. So in the face of Meghan's behavior, all the way from separating Harry from his friends and family, and then lying about the latter on mainstream media to the present day, Meghan has done absolutely nothing to make people like her. Even she has basically admitted that she's a liar and she's a complete fraud, which should be enough to turn anybody off, but still she somehow has fans out there who are so toxic that they're ready to issue death threats to other members of the royal family, but at the same time, they go after anybody who dares to question their idol. And why? And what is that in their opinion that is so amazing about Meghan that they are so happy to defend her behavior no matter what it is? And what's more, their idol is more than happy to watch and not say a thing while the Sugars issue some really nasty rants against people who do not share their passion. I want to share with you an opinion from a royal fan. Now, I understand that a lot of the information we get is more than enough, but a grandson and his wife who were going to make a show and allow it to air while their grandfather was literally lying in the hospital on his deathbed, and then his grandmother in her 90s was losing the love of her life for over 60 years, and they did a talk show that trashes the whole family, and at the same time, they were given a lot of money by this same family. I mean, the amount of ridicule and disrespect is off the charts. Meghan didn't even bother denying the fact that she lied. Instead, she just said that was her truth, her version of events, making fun of respected, honored traditions with that exaggerated, sarcastic bow, which, by the way, most royal families in most countries around the globe adhere to. At least 13 known provable lies were told, or they misrepresented facts or exaggerated. I mean, the whole thing was a big load of BS. That alone is more than enough to cause people not to like them. And they didn't stop there. I mean, they've done so many other things, they've told so many other lies, it just keeps on piling up. I don't even have the time or energy to argue with people who are still defending them. But in an attempt to try to answer the question, I gave one example that I think could apply to any family. I mean, if somebody in my family launched an all-out attack with all those lies while my father was dying and my mother was emotionally sick over losing him, to which they never made any effort to apologize or make amends, but instead did the opposite and asked Harry's family to apologize, and they keep on showing up with their hands out asking for more money from this same family, in spite of the fact that they left with more than enough money to live pretty comfortably for the rest of their lives. I don't believe I would be as patient as the royal family. I don't think I would be as polite as they've been. I think I would cut them off altogether and refuse to ever speak to them again. Probably try to permanently ban them from any properties owned by the royal family. And as for the two invisible children, well, if somehow I was convinced that they are real, then maybe I would consider setting up a heavily guarded trust fund for them so that Harry and Meghan could never touch it or have any access to it whatsoever. If they're real, and that's a big if, but anyway, if they're real, the kids don't deserve to be punished for their parents' evil behavior. Quite a while ago, one of you made a pretty interesting comment. It was, I was happy to just know that they allegedly love each other, that they married, and see her warmly welcomed by the family and public. That's all I wanted to know about her. Now I know that she finds it appropriate to lose crown jewelry lent to her, accept a £32 million third wedding where she went dressed in virginal white, then take money to go on shows to publicly mock our head of state and our traditions. I know that she is incapable of service, and without any exception so far tries to make everything about herself, poor regions in Africa, Invictus, etc. I know that she's cruel to a father who loves her very much, and that there is no family that she kept in her life, neither her own nor any of the 3 sets of in-laws. I don't know where you've been over the past years. I suspect you too know that she's cruel, she's spoiled, she's demanding, entitled, a liar, a grifter. If to you that is not reason enough to dislike someone, then perhaps it's not Meghan you should worry about. All good points. I mean, at the end of the day, does anybody really know Meghan? I don't think she even knows herself, and I think that's part of her problem. She changes up personas and narratives like she changes clothes, and she does it to suit her audience and to get attention. And she does it all the time. She's white one day, she's black the next, she's empowered one day, she's a victim the next, rinse and repeat. South Park really got it right when they depicted her as this empty vessel. I think that's why she's always having to put on different personalities. It's because she herself doesn't really have a personality. She has no real sense of self. More to the point, Meghan Markle refuses to be a private person. She has to make everything about her, whichever her she wants to use that day. Now, she probably would have many fans if she chose to refrain from always whining and insulting anybody and anything that doesn't align to her agenda. Her relationship, or lack thereof, with her family, it's not our business, but it also isn't a good look. I'd probably be willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, because many people do have complicated relationships with their family members. But the way that she makes it all public knowledge is just tacky. I mean, we all have our own problems, but we don't whine about it all the time to make money. All of these points are valid. Another reply was, people are judged not just according to who they are, but by their actions. That's not unreasonable. People's actions must reflect, to some extent at least, who they are. Meghan Markle is judged by her actions, most of which, according to her own preference, are very public. She has shown herself to be manipulative, untruthful, vindictive, lazy, and incompetent. In addition, anything that is wrong or unacceptable is always someone else's fault. Like most narcissists, she insists that no one understands her and that people never give her her due. In fact, most people have got the measure of her. Given what they see, it's hard to like or respect her. On the basis of what people know of her, many dislike her. Some may pity her, at least to a degree. Her pathetic need for adulation, to be seen and lauded as someone, has a great personality and talent, has led her down a path that can lead only to increasing disappointment and woe. Unfortunately, many are buffeted by the wash as she passes. And then another comment from our video, we finally know why everyone hates Meghan Markle, said that, I think they eventually will be headed to divorce court. I think things have already started with the separation by the two of them whilst they are working on separate projects. I don't know them, but at the beginning something told me she was clueless about everything English, including the 1,000-year history. The only person she cares about is herself. She played Harry and the entire royal family like a fiddle until they finally saw who she really was. She'll go down in history, all right. She has the anchor babies that I'm sure were created by the miracles of science. It's amazing what science can do with IVF. I saw that hump drop. That was very strange. I think she's such a narcissist, lives in her head, but miscalculated that people didn't want to hear all about her every podcast, every speech where she inserted herself. Me again will come out of this still smiling, thinking she is loved by the world. The Crown will handsomely pay her off to go away, and Harry will lose his kids and return to England. Have his kids in the summer or when the ex-wife needs to be filming. I'd like to see her fade into obscurity, but I doubt that will ever happen while she's still alive on this earth. Alright, so now I want to share with you my opinion. The way things are looking right now, I believe that separation and divorce are inevitable. There has been so much speculation about Harry trying to blackmail or weasel his way back into the royal fold, and it's not like he can come back with Meghan Markle in tow, something that even he has to realize. Any public rehabilitation is going to be a very difficult road indeed, and it may not be feasible. And as for that evil witch, Meghan Markle, well, she'll probably settle for some sort of payoff. That's what a snake like her would do. And that's something else that's going to cause people not to like her. And that's going to present the palace with quite the PR challenge. I mean, even if it is family money and doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, people are not going to be happy about that. Fading into obscurity is the one thing that Meghan is going to fight against. She wants to avoid that at all costs. Although, when she's no longer connected to Harry, she's not going to have many options. Meanwhile, the public appetite on both sides of the pond for hearing Meghan's side of the story is incredibly limited and only becoming more limited by the day. I think her chances of getting hired for any acting jobs are very slim. If Meghan Markle had any sense at all, which clearly she doesn't, and if she were not a total narcissist, she would take that money and she would run. She would find a nice, quiet little place somewhere. She would change her name, travel for a little while probably, maybe learn something about the world, and who knows, maybe she could even learn something about who she really is. So basically, maybe she could grow up to be a mature, balanced woman. But we know it's not going to happen like that. And you, what do you think about Meghan? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.